What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, bringing you another Madden 18 ratings video. And today we're gonna be throwing out some, props to the fans of the diehards that are in the comment section, fighting tooth and nail for these, leaked, if you will, launch ratings to be changed. Because today we're gonna be looking at the top 10 bullshit, aka your guy got horde ratings for the launch ratings. So these are going to be the guys that ratings make 0 cents, and they should be much higher. We have 10. We're going to go from 10 all the way to number 1. They're roughly ranked, but really for this list, it's all these guys need to be touched on. Some a little bit more than others, but there's no like clear-cut number 1 kind of thing for me. But first, we're going to go through some honorable mentions. We have Jadeveon Clowney getting an 86. I thought he'd probably be closer to a 90. Ryan Shazier, the very talented linebacker for the Steelers, got an 81. I think most people are probably thinking like 83, 84. Alec Ogletree for the Rams got a 77. That could have been higher. Khalil Mack got a 97. There's probably plenty of people that thought he deserved to be a part of the 99 club. Marshawn Lynch coming back is an 85. So I know, there is a split, a divide amongst fans if he's going to be good or bad, what he's going to look like in a Raiders uniform. So the 85 for Marshawn certainly is a polarizing topic. Trey Turner, the guard, very talented guard for the Carolina Panthers, only got a 77. Kevin King, the corner from Washington, the rookie corner in Green Bay, only got a 71. Andrew Adams, showing that I'm not super biased, really good season last year for the Giants, only got a 78. Jordan Hicks of my Philadelphia Eagles got an 85, where I thought he should have got 88, 89, between 87 and 89 for sure. Malik Hooker, who's debatably the second best safety in comparison, Jamal Adams got an 81. Malik Hooker got a 76. That's a far bigger drop than I heard, separation between the two than I would have expected. D Ford, a guy who got double-digit sacks on a Chiefs defense, got 78 overall. Carson Palmer got an 83 overall. That could have been higher, showing some respect to the vets. And then you got Quan Alexander, who constantly gets disrespected in Madden. The linebacker on the Bucks only got an 80 overall. Just look at his stat line last year. He was an absolute playmaker. Should be, kind of like Ryan Shazier in that 82, 83, 84 range. So now jumping into the official top 10. At number 10, we have T.Y. Hilton, who got an 88 overall for a player that led the league in receiving yards. There's guys that had down years, guys that barely played that still got over 90 overall in the wide receiver position. I'm looking at you, Dez Bryant, looking at you, DeAndre Hopkins, guys that, maybe through no fault of their own, they just had a bad year. Where T.Y. Hilton had a career year, you still don't give him into that 90 threshold. You have room there to be bitching, Colt fans. Going to number 9, back-to-back Eagles, Derek Barnett, our first-round draft pick, got a 75 overall, and this is, 75, I could say, all right, if you told me you got a 75 and you didn't tell me anyone else's ratings, maybe Myles Garrett, I would be a little skeptical. I don't think Myles Garrett getting an 83, and then Derek Barnett, who's pretty much the consensus number 2 edge rusher in the draft class. I would definitely not make the argument that Barnett is as good as Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett should be an 83, but Barnett's not, 7, 8, depending if the ratings fluctuate a little bit. 7, 8 points worse than Myles Garrett. I think if Garrett's an 83, Barnett should have been 77. I would say 77 would be a fair grade. But then when you look at other rookie defensive ends along that scale, ones with, Jordan Willis for the Bengals, a third-round pick, at a 76. Are you kidding me? The rating scale is really, really bad, and when you see where Barnett falls along the lines of that, robbed, man. Absolutely robbed. Number 8, Sidney Jones of my Philadelphia Eagles, who was, head and, right now, it was between Sidney Jones and Marshawn Lattimore, who was the number 1 corner in this year's draft class. Sidney Jones went down with an injury. He got a 74 overall. And when I saw that, I was like, that's lower. I would have gave him 75, 76. But then, this is a two-parter. Marshawn Lattimore, the top corner because of the injury, only got a 76 overall, selected 11th in the draft. All you have to do, look, Trey White got picked from the Buffalo Bills. He's a 78. Chidobe Awuzie, second-round pick for the Cowboys, 76. Jordan Lewis, who had a terrible combine, third-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys, 75. Again, the rating scale for the rookies has been very poorly done in this year's Madden 18 game. I would definitely think, it's warranted the outrage and backlash some of these ratings that get, especially in the rookies on social media. Number 7 is Sean Davis of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who won their in-house Defensive Rookie of the Year, only getting a 73 overall. I thought he had a pretty good year. Statistically wise, wasn't great, but if you really watched it, I think Sean Davis much more higher than a 73 overall. I know a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans were upset with that one. I thought Sean Davis would at least, get 76 to 78, somewhere between there. So a 73 overall is pretty damn brutal. Number 6, we're going with Marcus Mariota, who got an 80 overall. I think the rating scale for quarterbacks is a little off. We're going to have a two-parter on this one with Jameis Winston only getting an 81 for two of the top young quarterbacks in the game. 80 and 81. I mean, when you look at Dak, who got an 86, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston just missed out on the playoffs. I mean, Mariota and Winston both had the same amount of playoff wins as Dak Prescott. Didn't have nearly as good of an offensive line in Winston's case. I think that those are way too far off for my liking. Number 5 is Jordan Howard, the second leading rusher in the National Football League, got an 85 overall. They've constantly slept on Jordan Howard. Wasn't mentioned in the NFL Top 100 players. Here's something for you. Giovanni Bernard got an 86. Jordan Howard got an 85. Explain that to me. Moving on to number 4, showing that I'm not biased. You already see 2 Eagles. You're like, oh, it's going to be Eagles list. Number 4, Jonathan Allen, the rookie, the first-round draft pick for the Washington Redskins, got a 73 overall. Coming in with an incredible pedigree. Tested pretty well relative. He was injured, but pretty well at the combine. And is maybe, arguably, outside of Derek Brooks, the greatest Alabama defensive lineman. 73 overall. I say if Derek Barnett's a 75 and you're messing up the ratings that way, Jonathan Allen should be at least a 75. Moving on, number 3, it's going to be Phillip Rivers, who got an 84 overall. Seems like a lot of outrage. I mean, he did have a lot of interceptions last year, but I mean, look what he was working with. Guy had just a fucking carousel of injuries to deal with, and he still put up 30-plus touchdowns, carried that team, kept them in games they had no right staying in. 84 for Rivers. He probably should have been 87, somewhere around that range. But again, you kind of have to bring it all back to the quarterback rating scale where, Mariota and Winston, if they're going 80, 81, then 84, I guess. But plenty of outrage. Maybe the most outraged of any player has been Phillip Rivers. Number 2 is Clinton Dix for the Green Bay Packers. When I was actually doing the ratings breakdown for the Packers, I was like, man, did I miss Clinton Dix? I'm in like the high 80s, and he's not here. He got an 82. He had a tremendous season last year. I would say statistically wise, obviously as a unit, that Green Bay secondary wasn't that great. But statistically speaking, Clinton Dix was probably a fringe top 5 safety overall. And 82 overall, I think 85 minimum for Clinton Dix. Got robbed there. But I'm going to say for the Packers, they got plenty of generous ratings elsewhere. So maybe there's not a whole lot to hate on there. And the number 1 bullshit, you got fucking horde rating is going to VIC Beasley of the Atlanta Falcons. Led the league in sacks, 15.5 sacks. Sure, he's one-dimensional. He just gets out of the quarterback. But that should be more than enough to warrant higher than an 83 overall. I thought VIC Beasley, 87, 88 minimum. I thought he may be, a candidate for my overrated list if he got too high into the 90s. But an 83 overall. They are severely underrating the top edge rusher, debatably the top defender. I mean, Deion Jones getting an 81. That's another topic. But the best rusher on the best team in the NFC gets an 83 overall. I think VIC Beasley, when all is said and done, got hoard more than any, but all these guys got robbed with their ratings. And I think if you're a fan of either one of these teams or a fan of either one of these players, you have the right to be upset with these launch Madden 18 ratings. Let me know in the comment section below if I missed anyone or if you agree with what I kind of laid out here. If this is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, as Madden 18 season is going to be well and underway here on Beast Mode TV. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.